We are Team 1 in Section 4, and our team is called the Earth Warriors. The country we were assigned was Morocco, and we are going to be discussing how Morocco is affected by climate change. My name is Rebecca Albitis, and I will be presenting the first part of Project 2, which is the vulnerabilities Morocco faces due to climate change.
My name is Natalie Kerwin, and I am presenting the second part of Project 2, which talks about the opportunities presented to Morocco due to climate change.
Hello, my name is Catherine Liu, and in this video, I'm going to present different groups of people who contribute to climate change in Morocco.
This is Qian Yu. I will present the second part of Project 4, which is 5 major instances in which Morocco contributed to climate change.
Hello, my name is Junjie Chen. I'm presenting the first part of Project 3, which is about Morocco's history.
Hello everyone, I'm Tianyang Gao. I will presenting the first part of Project 4, which is Morocco rationale, political platform in UNFCCC, political platform in Kyoto, and political platform in Paris Agreement.
Today, climate change is one of the most pressing environmental issues, and more people are dealing with the devastating effects of climate change now more than ever, with over 97% of climate scientists agreeing that climate warming trends over the past century are very likely due to human activities. Climate change is a hard topic to refute. Ever since the Industrial Revolution in the 18th century, there has been a large spike in the amount humans are contributing to climate change. This is due to the large amounts of carbon dioxide and other gases polluting the atmosphere, which can come from a variety of sources, including factories, cities, farms, and automobiles. Climate scientists know that these gases contribute to the greenhouse effect. The greenhouse effect is the reflection of infrared heat back to the Earth, due in part to gases such as carbon dioxide, water vapor, and methane that are trapped in the atmosphere. This reflection of heat back to Earth leads to the warming of Earth. With temperatures continuously rising, one country that is suffering from climate change is Morocco. I'm Rebecca, and I'm going to be talking about vulnerabilities Morocco faces due to climate change. The first vulnerability is that sea levels keep rising as a result of climate change. People who are exposed to this are those who live near or on the coast, who may lose their homes and jobs if the sea levels continue to rise. The rising sea levels affect Morocco's economy because a large part of its economy is based on farming, fishing, and agriculture. These industries will not be able to thrive if the rising sea levels continue to destroy the ecosystems these industries are dependent on, like ocean wildlife and farmland. Tourism is also likely to decline if the sea levels continue to rise because Morocco will not be a destination travelers want to visit due to its decreasing visual appeal. The second vulnerability Morocco faces is that the Moroccan government doesn't set aside any money within its national budget for climate change and the effects of it, leaving it up to the citizens to raise awareness and money for the devastating effects of climate change. All the people in Morocco, including citizens and tourists, will continue to suffer from the effects of climate change if the government continues to refuse to set aside funds to improve the quality of the country's environment. This could cause tension between the government and citizens of Morocco, who want the government to pay more attention and money to climate change. If no funds are set aside to combat the effects climate change is having on Morocco, both the economy and tourism will continue to be impacted negatively, because climate change and its effects will continue to be damaging to the country. Another vulnerability Morocco faces as a result of climate change is extreme weather events such as droughts and flooding, which are becoming more and more frequent and destructive. These weather disasters result in dislocation of populations, decrease in the quality of life, poverty, limited access to capital, and deterioration of ecosystems. Events like these cause even more damage to the economy and to tourism, which is a vital industry within Morocco. The economy is dependent on agriculture, farming, and fishing, and these extreme weather events are incredibly damaging to the ecosystems those industries are dependent on. Another vulnerability Morocco faces is the increase of acid rain, which is a result of high amounts of pollution in the air. Acid rain is extremely harmful to freshwater fish and related agricultural and fishing activities. Because of the disruption that acid rain causes in the ecosystems, people in Morocco whose income is dependent on these fishing and agricultural activities are more at risk of being in poverty and having to find other sources of income. Because acid rain is so damaging to the economy, people's income, environments, and ecosystems, the government needs to implement regulations in the amount of pollution that goes into the air. The last vulnerability Morocco faces due to climate change is the fast rate of deforestation. In Morocco, thousands of trees are cut down for agricultural and range clearing reasons each hour. This is damaging to the forests in Morocco and the ecosystems that live within the forests. Deforestation also releases large amounts of carbon dioxide into the atmosphere, and because of this, regulations of forestry practices need to be implemented.
My name is Natalie, and I'm going to be talking about the opportunities Morocco faces due to climate change. The first is the sea level rising, which causes people to move from coastline down to the cities. The exposure of this opportunity are businesses in the city. There are 3 different prospects within this opportunity. The first is the cultural dimension. The people who live near the coastline are now moving to the city and bringing their culture with them. The economic dimension is the increasing migration will increase the number of customers in the city, which will promote economic growth. The last dimension is the ecological dimension, which people will realize the importance of protecting our environment. The second opportunity for Morocco is the average yearly precipitation. It is currently decreasing, yet monthly it is increasing from December to February. The exposure includes people involved in the agricultural business, and it includes 3 prospects, the first one being the ecological dimension. The precipitation from December to February is good for agriculture during these months and helps plants and crops thrive. The second dimension is the economic dimension, which, due to the thriving of the agriculture, farmers will benefit and profit. The last dimension is the cultural dimension. During these months, the environment is more likely to be a place where tourists will want to be around, so tourism definitely increases. The third opportunity is building more efficient irrigation systems in order to enhance the lives of people in Morocco. The exposure is for the communities in the country of Morocco, and the prospects include an economic dimension, which means that money will be saved in the long run with better quality irrigation systems, a social dimension, which means communities will be able to live better together and have more running water, and the last dimension, a cultural dimension, means that tourists will feel safer coming to visit the country of Morocco. The fourth opportunity includes a temperature rise, which is caused by the industrial pollution, including green gas emission, which creates an opportunity for the renewable resource market. The exposure is the renewable resource market and inventors of the renewable device. The prospects include an economic dimension, which this situation will give a chance to the renewable resource market. A political dimension, which this situation will give Morocco an opportunity to generate new political law or plan for protecting the environment. And the last dimension is an ecological one, which Morocco is doing 5 things to protect its environment. The last opportunity is deforestation, which could later bring opportunities in using the land more efficiently. The exposure is to facilities such as hospitals and other transportation stations, which build to help both the citizens and the tourists. The prospects include an economic dimension, which will increase government revenues, a social dimension, which will increase job opportunities, and a cultural dimension, which will help promote a better lifestyle to citizens.
Hello guys, my name is Junjie Chen. Today I want to talk about the Morocco's economy and their history. So before the Industrial Revolution, Morocco economy depends on the fishing, agriculture, handicraft, livestock. But after the Industrial Revolution, things changed. The economy in Morocco depends on the export and manufacturing. The products they exported is clothing, textile, fertilizer, vegetables, and fish. They also export some natural resources such as phosphate. Recently, they also developed the tourism and the service section. So we think some activities in Morocco contribute to some climate change. For example, building factories in the city are increasing the air pollution and greenhouse gas emission, and they will cause the temperature rising, global warming, and sea level rising. Export the natural resource will reduce the ability of resistance to climate change. Tourism increase the rate of the climate change, even it doesn't work directly to the climate change. This part is about Morocco history with fossil fuels. In later 19th century, Morocco primary companies in main cities were granted the concession to generate power using small hydroelectricity plants, steam boilers, diesel engines. In 1929, first hydropower plants opened. In 1974, construction of dams in order to supply water for farming and main cities. In 1981, second oil crisis hits. In 2002, Morocco ratified the Kyoto Protocol. In 2010, new framework introduced for renewable energy project. In 2015, Morocco government put subsidies to eliminate the petroleum production. Recently, deforestation is becoming a big problem in Morocco. The big part of this is due to the expansion of the Sahara Desert. The expansion would reduce the production of agriculture, and the people in Morocco can't get enough food because of the expansion. So they will keep cut down the tree and increase the deforestation. Because these activities and expansion, Morocco loses like 1,300 hectares of forest each year. Seems like a lot of deforestation and agriculture contribute to the less than 5% of Morocco's greenhouse gas emission.
Now I'm going to talk about different groups' adaptations to climate change impacts in Morocco. So I'm gonna divide it into two groups. So one is the rural groups. So rural livelihoods depend on small-scale subsistence farming and animal husbandry. So climate change hurts agricultural activities. Therefore, the carbon footprint for rural groups is 0.5 to 1.6 tons of carbon dioxide per capita. However, for urban groups, its unfruitful, impoverished conditions have fueled the country's rural to urban migration. Their frequent drought, crop failure, and climate change has created pressure to create new jobs and affect urban citizens' income. So their carbon footprint is 6.4 tons of carbon dioxide per capita for urban groups. Next, I will talk about the most vulnerable groups to climate change in Morocco. So there are three vulnerable groups. The first one will be the women. So gender-related inequalities are pervasive in the developing world. Although women account for almost 80% of the agricultural sector in Africa, they remain vulnerable and poor, and therefore the climate change hurts women. And the second groups will be the indigenous people. So for indigenous people who live in Morocco, climate change in Morocco was destroying their homeland. And the third one would be the group of poor people. So the climate change in Morocco will influence agricultural activities, in which will increase the price of food. Therefore, for those poor people who lives in Morocco, this threats to their food security. And next, I will talk about some trade-offs Morocco should be prepared to make. The first one will be that Morocco aims to generate for 52% of its electricity needs from renewable energy by 2030. Its cons is it's a hard work and too much pressure of government. But its pro is it will promote economic growth and increasing job opportunities. The second trade-off is Morocco has lifted all subsidies on diesel, gasoline, and heavy fuel oil. And the cons is the social welfare is reduced and people has to change their lifestyle. The pros is the government can save money and it can make some good influence to the environment. And the third trade-off would be that the plan Mark Vert aims to protect the environment as well as the livelihoods of Moroccans. The cons will be it has a low efficiency rate and the other field like workforce. The pros is the plan is benefit for livelihoods and it's important to the environment protection. The fourth trade-off would be that Morocco has begun treating its ocean as a natural resources with the same importance as the land. The cons will be raising the assumption of government, and the pros will be Morocco might develop in different fields and protect the source of marine. The fifth trade-off would be that the Morocco is making an effort to conserve its underground aquifers. The cons will be it will cost too much money to conserve the water, but the pros will be protecting the cycle of water and natural resource. It's good for Morocco's development.
For the first part, Morocco rationale. In June 2015, Morocco submitted their new climate action plan to the UNFCCC, and Morocco is driven by their belief that humanity shares a common fate as well as by their commitment to the principle of equity. Overall, they want to put a way for the global commitment that is response and fire for well-being of the entry plant. For the second part of the political platform in UNFCCC, the UNFCCC opened for signature at the Earth Summit in Rio in June of 1992. In March of 1994, the UNFCCC enters into force. Countries that signed the treaty as known as parties. The UNFCCC has almost universal membership with 1996. Morocco signed the UNFCCC on June 13, 1992. Morocco ratified the UNFCCC on December 28, 1995. On March 20, 1996, the UNFCCC entered into force in Morocco. Morocco's 2,175 miles of coastline make it particularly vulnerable to sea level rise. Morocco tried to point the impact for climate change by becoming a part of the UNFCCC. For the third part of the political platform in Kyoto, on December 11, 1997, the third conference of the parties achieved a milestone with the adoption of the Kyoto Protocol. On February 17, 2005, Kyoto enters into force. At the sixth conference of the parties in Bonn, government reached a broad agreement on the rulebook for Kyoto. The seventh conference of the parties in Morocco in November of 2001 resulted in the Marrakesh Accord, which set the stage for ratification of Kyoto. The formalized agreement on rule for international emission trading, the Clean Department, machineries and joint implementation. Morocco never formally signed Kyoto, but ratified it on January 25, 2002, and it entered into force on February 16, 2005. Morocco established the institution set up for the CDM and the established reduction of GHG emission estimated at 5.4 million of carbon dioxide equivalent per year. Morocco also focused on the development and renewable of electricity generation, solar power. For the last part, political platform in Paris Agreement. Morocco signed the Paris Agreement on April 22, 2016. On September 21, 2016, Morocco ratified the Paris Agreement. Morocco is leading the charge against climate change. Morocco submits its national determined contribution with the target of reducing GHG emissions including land use change and forestry, by 70% below business as usual by 2030. With sufficient international support, Morocco aims to further decrease emissions by 42 below business as usual by 2030.
Here are 5 major instances of contribution of climate change. The first one is the Conference of the Parties 7 Climate Talks in Marrakesh, Morocco. COP7 results in the Marrakesh Accords, which set the stage for ratifying Kyoto. The Accords formalized agreement on laws for international emissions trading, the clean development, modification, and joint implementation, along with a compliance regime and accounting procedures. Many cultures expressed the hope and enter into force will be achieved by the time of the Johannesburg Summit. The second one is Morocco submitted its climate action plan ahead of 2015 Paris Agreement. The 22nd session of the Conference of the Parties, the 12th session of the Conference of the Parties serving as the meeting of the parties to Kyoto Protocol, and the first session of the Conference of the Parties serving as the meeting of the parties to Paris Agreement. This slide is about the Marrakesh Climate Change Conference. This intended national determined contribution comes well in advance of a new Universal Climate Change Agreement, which will be reached at the UN Climate Conference in Paris in December this year. The Paris Agreement will come into effect at different times in each country, depending on when they ratified it. It went into effect in Morocco in November of 2016. It will empower all countries to act to prevent the average global temperature rising about 2 degrees. The first one is about the countries' partner on National Climate Action Plan's new NDC partnership launched. Co-chaired by Morocco and Germany, the NDC partnership offers a unique platform to empower developing countries to achieve national climate commitments under the Paris Agreement and related sustainable development goals. The NDC partnership is a new coalition of developing and developed countries and international institutions working together to ensure countries receive the technical and financial support they need to achieve ambitious climate and related sustainable development goals as fast and effectively as possible. The last one is about the presentation of the initiative. Launched upstream of COP22, organized in Morocco, the initiative for the adaptation of African agriculture aims to reduce the vulnerability of Africa and its agriculture to climate change. Its objective is to place the adaptation of African agriculture at the heart of climate debates and negotiation, and to attract a substantial share of climate funds. As for the solutions, it also aims to contribute to the rollout of specific agricultural projects.
Overall, this is Morocco's relationship with climate change. We hope the public is more educated now and that the Moroccan government will implement policies that will help with the damages climate change has already caused the country and take preventive measures to stop climate change in the future.